Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Repeat Brewery. A brewery I haven't had a ton of, but this is kind of like a little into the style I haven't had from them. A little hazy. Hopeful goodness from Bonesaw Brewing. This is their Swoosh West Coast meets East Coast Hazy IPA. 7.1%. Bonesaw, I haven't had a ton of their stuff, but what I have had is pretty much all barrel-aged stuff from them. And some of that stuff is delicious. I saw this 6-pack of cans sitting on a shelf. It was discounted. So when you see a hazy on a shelf that was discounted, you automatically think old. This is... actually, that looks pretty old. Catch the wave. This is 8. There you go. I didn't trust my instincts. It actually looks like it was from June of, or not June, yeah, May of 2023. And I'm like, oh shit, I did pick up old beer. But no, it's not. It's actually less than a month old. No, just about a month old. It was actually canned on 8, something or other. Anyway, it was only a month old, so I figured I might as well pick it up. You know, I dug their other stuff, but I haven't had anything hazy, so we'll dive right into it, see what's what. Label-wise is alright, a little skeleton guy surfing. We'll get down with it. Yeah, like I said, their barrel-aged stuff I actually dug quite a bit. You know, a couple of people who actually close to there actually said that's their forte. The owner actually was like, thank you very much for reviewing stuff. Stop on by someday. I will do that. But as far as hazies go, it looks the part, you know. Nice, rich, golden glow. Nothing too dark there. Not the most turbid thing in the history of mankind. But it looks like a hazy. It's good nose. Citrus. Citrus, but like old school East Coast IPA citrus. Not like new school hazy citrus. Like a lot of grapefruit, a lot of pith, a lot of orange, a lot of zest in this thing. So it definitely has that kind of big, juicy component to it. But it's very much old school citrus, fruity hopped. Kind of East Coast IPA prior to big old New England style stuff. Nice perception of sweetness on there. I don't think you're going to get a ton of bittering in this sucker. But you're talking about 7.1%. It smells the part. Let's just dive in. Cheers, y'all. Okay. Man, it's very, very zesty. Very citrus forward. Like, I think citrus is almost a no-shit Sherlock, like, lock when it comes to almost all hazies. Every now and then you get one that's really just super peach or super tropical fruit leaning and not much citrus, but they're very, very few and far between. So citrus is a predominant thing when it comes to these beers. But, man, this is like, I don't mean to say taste caustic like this, but it's like lemon pledgy kind of citrus. The way it comes off, very, very vibrant. It actually comes off quite a bit thin. What do you expect for a hazy IPA? Let's see what they say on here. It says this hazy IPA packs waves of big bursting hop flavors, bold fruit tones, hybridized. That's a word. With back-end dryness and moderate bitterness, complement and accentuate the hop nose. Notes of mango, peach, apricot, and cantaloupe. Getting not much of any of that, to be perfectly honest with you. It really is. Ooh, man, that last part poured in there. So let's see if that changes things. I'm sorry, I'm a little nasally, my voice is cracking and stuff, but we're powering through it. Just coming off being sick, I can smell stuff. It's all like upper head stuff, and my voice is... Where's my voice going? I don't know. Anyway, this is a horrible, janky review. I apologize to everybody in Bonesaw in particular. But it is very much citrus leaning. Very much for me. It's all the citrus arbol on us. There is a bittering here, but it actually is a decent amount of carbonic acid, so it feels like a lot of the bittering is coming from the seltzer carbonic version or portion of the beer as opposed to a big dollop of hops. I'm sure there is that bittering from the hops in there, but it is that kind of carbonic thing that's really driving it home. That's not bad. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to free write a book of hazies for me. You know, it's not going to be like, oh my god, a sixer of this for a discounted price. I think I got it for like $12, $11 or something like that. At that price point, actually is quite nice. It's tasty enough to be like, I'm drinking something nice, well made. Nothing far as negative for me. I just knock a little bit for that over carbonic acid kind of thing. But outside of that, at price point, it's hard to find something that gives you what this is giving you at that price point. And that's the biggest thing it has going for it. If this is in 16-ounce cans, it's a 4-pack and it's $16, I'm like, okay. It's like, at that point, it's like, I think there's quite a bit better to choose from. But at the price point I got it at, and it being that there's really not much, if anything, negative to it outside of my own personal qualms with carbonic acid, it's very kind of textbooky hazy IPA citrus leaning. It's hazy, but it's not overly turbid or thick or lush. There's a bittering here, but it's rather generic, but nothing over the top aggressive, but it's balancing off the sweetness. There's a nice sweetness here, and it's very citrus leaning, but again, it's not like got that kind of shaved edge, lactose dosed, oaty kind of confectionery, kind of softness to the sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. So it's hitting a lot of good points, but it's not wowing in the other aspects of what you'd expect from a really, really kind of top-notch kind of hazy IPA. So I walk in this brewery, order this, I have this, 10-ounce pour just to dive into what they have. I'm happy with this. I move on to the next beer. I don't want to dismiss it as something that's that forgettable, but at the same time, I bought a sixer of it at a decent price. I'm not upset at that at all. If it was a 6-pack at $21, I might have a little bit of an issue with it. So there's a little bit of kind of like price whatevering. Man, this is one of the best reviews I've ever done. So there you go. Not too shabby of a beer. I can't wait to try other stuff from them that is outside of the barrel-aged stuff, because the barrel-aged stuff pretty much has been very, very, if not very good, stellar for me. So I'm really, really curious to see how some of their more kind of basic fares. And this is my first foray into it, so glad I picked it up. So there you go. Is it one of the better hazy IPAs I've had as of late? I don't want to say no, because I think that's too heavy of a thing. So sure, yes, not towards the top. Value and availability, the price point on it is killer, so that's what kind of makes it a little bit more kind of, pun intended, palatable. Value, is great and off a shelf. Hey, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like hazy IPA, if you like old school East Coast IPA, you're not bothered by the carbonic thing, you pick this up at a decent price point. I don't think you're upset at it. I don't think you're like, again, you're not like, wow, this is rewriting the book of what hazies are for me. But at the same time, I think you dig it. Anyway, Bonesaw. Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this one? I'm really curious. Go back and watch it. If you've had a bunch of their beers and this is your first time watching my channel or me review a Bonesaw beer, go watch the other ones too. Because I'm really curious about the brewing in general and what your idea is about their beers compared to what I've said. And I pretty much do that with every review I do. But definitely this one, what do you think about it? What do you think of the strengths and weaknesses? Your personal thoughts, all that fun stuff. Anything you want to add down there. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of Bonesaw right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.